Despite some early rain, tonight's show started on time, right at 8 o'clock. And for those wondering who would be the headliner tonight, I can tell you that both bands, Billy Idol and Bryan Adams, played exactly an hour and 15 minutes. Billy kicked things off right at 8 o'clock. Ironically, everybody was dancing to Dancing by Myself. Following the song, Billy immediately took his shirt off. It was that kind of night. I think he had about 5 wardrobe changes during the course of his set. But the band went into Flesh for Fantasy and then into L.A. Woman, where he repeatedly mentioned Syracuse and Syracuse Woman during the song. And despite the overall swagger and bravado that we've come to expect from Billy Idol, he took it down a notch as he talked about his parents, specifically his dad, and the last song that he heard before he passed away. It was Ghosts in My Guitar. Then into Eyes Without a Face, and Steve Stevens took the spotlight with his white Godin nylon string guitar with a rapid flamenco-style solo intro, including bits of Over the Hills and Far Away and Stairway to Heaven, going into the song Soul Standing By. Then Billy introduced the first song that he wrote with Generation X, Your Generation, tossing drumsticks and frisbees into the crowd before heading into Blue Highway. Then he had 2 words for one of his favorite songs. Those 2 words were Rebel Yell, following which he literally gave the shirt off his back to a fan in the front row, and then went into White Wedding for their final song, wrapping up at 9:15. After about a half-hour intermission, Bryan Adams took the stage with the song Somebody from his album Reckless in 1984. It was one song after another with a very active backdrop video presentation, Kids Wanna Rock, into Can't Stop This Thing We Started, into Run to You, before introducing the title track from his new album, Shine a Light, where everybody held up their phones to shine a light. The first sing-along of the night was Heaven, as the crowd sang just about the entire first verse. And then Bryan introduced the song that he did with Tina Turner and said, speaking of which, and paused and said, she's not here, before going into It's Only Love, then encouraging people to dance and featuring them on the back screen. The band went into You Belong to Me with a rockabilly beat. Summer of '69 provided the second sing-along, and then Everything I Do for You, with couples swaying back and forth to the chorus of the song. Then Back to You and The Only Thing That Looks Good on Me Is You. Cuts Like a Knife, the title track from that album, wrapped up the first hour before going into One Night Love Affair. And then Bryan came out solo with a song that he wrote when he was 18 and said, Never Give Up on Your Dream. It provided the last sing-along for the night, straight from the heart, before wrapping things up with one final song solo, All for Love. It was a pretty compatible pairing of artists, both bands with a slew of radio hits and fans that appreciated each. And that's another concert recap from St. Joseph's Health Amphitheater at Lakeview for syracuse.com.